Superfly is a blaxploitation film released by Warner Brothers on July 1st, 1972. The film stars Ron O'Neal, Sheila Frazier, Carl Lee, and Julius Harris. The film was directed by Gordon Parks Jr. Superfly is about a drug dealer named Priest trying to get out of the game. Basically, in a nutshell, the film is one last score and ride off into the sunset. The plan is to buy 30 keys and set him up with $500,000, which he can start a new life. Colorism appears time and time again in black cinema and in black culture in general. The belief that the lighter the skin, the better the intentions, the smarter the person, and the more beautiful the person as well. Priest is light-skinned. Eddie, his buddy, soon-turned cohort during the course of the film, is dark-skinned. Priest is trying to leave the game. Eddie wants to stay in the game.
It's the American dream, nigga. What ain't it?
Colorism basically means light-skinned is good, dark-skinned is evil. Black culture references in general to colorism mainly involve sports, whereas the light-skinned brothers are the good brothers, the dark-skinned brothers are the evil brothers. Golden State Warriors, light-skinned. Cleveland Cavaliers, dark-skinned. Duke University, light-skinned. Michigan Wolverines, dark-skinned. Another prime example of colorism in film is the movie New Jack City. Ice-T represents good, Wesley Snipes represents evil. The original script to Superfly was 45 pages. The film's director made up for this flaw by using the soundtrack long tracking shots. Chase scenes, and shots of the crowd. Philip Fenty, who wrote Superfly, was cool with Gordon Parks Jr., and he also went to school with the lead actor Ron O'Neal in Cleveland. The car driven by Priest is a 1971 Cadillac Eldorado. The car belonged to another star in the film, KC, who was a local Harlem pimp and drug dealer. One of the producers, Nate Adams, met Casey in a hotel and was intrigued by his car. Casey's first initial response was sure. Upon later review, Casey reneged his offer. Nate Adams further talked to Casey and brought him around, and they were given the rights to use Casey's car in the film. The initial release of Superfly generated about $4 million. 40% went to the producer, Sig Shore, and the rest was divided by the actors, directors, script writers, and all the other people who worked on the technical aspects of the film. Superfly was produced by not only Gordon Parks Sr., the director's father. Sig Shore, the film's producer, gained notoriety before Superfly by importing dubbed European and Asian films. He went on to direct and produce The Return of Superfly in 1990, and at the time of his death was in negotiations to produce another remake of Superfly. The film was also financed by two black dentists in Harlem. The majority of the production crew was non-white, which at the time was almost unheard of. Curtis Mayfield was the only other major beneficiary of profits, and that's because he did the soundtrack. The film was criticized upon release by its portrayal of drug dealers. In the early 1970s, blaxploitation films dominated the box office for black movies. If you've ever wanted to use a still picture montage in your film, this might be a film to watch. If you're talking about guerrilla-style filmmaking, look no further. This film has guerrilla filmmaking all over it. Sheila Frazier, the actress who played Priest's girlfriend, Georgia, went on to star on TV shows such as Starsky and Hutch, Dallas, and The Love Boat. Charles McGregor, the actor who played Freddie, went on to play roles in the movie French Connection, and he may best be known for his role in Blazing Saddles. The actor Julius Harris, who plays Scatter, also appeared in the films James Bond, Live and Let Die, Maniac Cop 3, The Taking of Pelham 123, and on TV shows like Good Times and The Love Boat. Carl Lee, who was by far the most established actor at the time of filming, had roles in the movies The Connection, The Landlord, and also appeared on TV shows like Good Times. He died of a heroin overdose in 1986. The main actor, Ron O'Neal, who played Priest, went on to play in films such as Red Dawn and Original Gangsters. My generation may know him best as Whitley's father on A Different World. On January 14, 2004, Ron O'Neal died, which was a sad coincidence that on the same day the DVD was released. He was a tremendous actor on Broadway, but for the most part was typecast on sitcoms and police detective films. The director of photography, James Signorella, went on to become a Saturday Night Live film director and also directed the classic and often slept on film Easy Money, starring Rodney Dangerfield and the great Joe Pesci. In 1979, the film's director, Gordon Parks Jr., died in a plane crash. To understand Superfly, you have to understand the genre. Blaxploitation films were released in the early 70s as a response to the negative portrayal of black characters on film. Although blaxploitation films fueled further stereotypes of the black community in film, it felt good to see them playing roles other than a maid or a butler. The genre did produce a lot of garbage films from studios looking to make a quick buck, but the genre also produced cinematic classics like Superfly, Shaft, and Dolomite. These films, produced on little to no budget, paved the way for black directors in the 90s, such as Spike Lee and John Singleton, to not only write and direct their own films, but produce them as well. The story, the acting, the camera work, and the music all make Superfly a classic film. Yeah, there are some technical aspects that probably could have been kinked out. No other blaxploitation film has had as much of a cultural impact as Superfly, the best blaxploitation film ever made.